post-concentration camp experience was probably more traumatic than maybe even the camp, because we came out of camp into a very, very hostile LA. I mean, it was hostile. You can walk down the block and people would, parents would say, you know, don't play with that Jap. I went with my Cub Scout den to go swimming at a public pool, and when it came time for me to buy a ticket, they said, we don't allow Orientals in here. So you begin to develop a very, very negative self-image. You didn't want to hang out with other Japanese Americans or Asian Americans. You begin to reject anything Japanese. I went to Art Center College of Design with the idea of being a photojournalist, and I minored also in advertising design. I freelanced for a while and was relatively successful, did a lot of work for magazines, but I realized at the time that that's not what I really wanted to do, because the stories that sold were not the stories I wanted to tell. I happened to run across a newspaper, an Asian American newspaper called Gidra, and later it turned out to be the Asian American movement newspaper. And I realized there are other people feeling this way, other Asian Americans. I went down to the Gidra office and volunteered my services. My background is photography. I think I'd like to contribute to the newspaper. So I essentially joined the movement, the Asian American movement. At the same time, a program at UCLA Film and Television School called Ethnocommunications was created by the brand new Asian American Studies Center and the film department. And they recruited about, I think, 60 of us from different ethnic groups. There was a Chicano contingent, African American, Native American, and Asian American contingent. My first film, Manzanar, I needed to get across what it was like to be a 6-year-old, quote, American, and then overnight, you know, the trauma of all your friends and neighbors calling you the enemy.
It's very difficult to describe things in detail. I was only 6 years old, so I really can't remember anything definite. It's just vague impressions. I think I remember like feelings and smells and sounds, things that really impressed me.
It wasn't about art, it wasn't about self-expression, it wasn't even about breaking stereotypes to the majority society. We wanted to break stereotypes to ourselves. I'm very happy to have been part of the beginning of VC, I think, Visual Communications. The fact that it's still around has gone through many changes, but basically I think it's fulfilled a basic need within Asian American community. I wanted to deal on a very, very personal level. So I wanted to tell very, very personal stories of camp and the kind of degrading and negative impact of that experience. Joining the movement, having the support of people who kind of felt the same way, and having the outlet through my work in media, I think is allowed me to come to grips with the camp experience.